Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this awesome 2020 Hyundai Veloster N that we have for sale. We recently took this one on trade. I'm a big fan of performance vehicles, and the Veloster N is a darling of the automotive press. One of my favorite automotive publications, Car and Driver magazine. I always like to check out some reviews they do. They have little short reviews on vehicles, and they give things a CD rating from 1 to 10. This one actually got a 9 out of 10. They love the product. It's an affordable, fun sports car. The Veloster N pumps out 250 horsepower. The only transmission available is a great 6-speed manual transmission. I love manual gearboxes. It's a fun one to use. Maybe we'll take this one for a quick little spin around the block. This one has 32,410 miles. It's a clean Carfax vehicle. We mean a lot of business with the Veloster N. We have nice supportive bucket seats. I love the contrasting colors with the seat belts. Nice leather wrap steering wheel. It feels wonderfully in your hands. It's nicely contoured. You have a drive mode selector which will change the behavior of the vehicle. You can already hear the exhaust changing a little bit when I put it into sport mode, making it a little bit louder. So we have eco, normal, and sport. And I think you can also you can fine tune and personalize it. Yeah, you have custom settings. So I think there's like 11 different custom settings that you can pick and choose. So if you have a certain setting that you like, you can change it around, and I think you can make changes to the exhaust. This has adjustable dampers. You can make adjustments to that. Steering effort. So there's a lot of tunability in this vehicle right from the factory. You have 250 horsepower, 0 to 60 and right around the 5-second range. Sounds really nice, and that's in normal mode. And then in sport mode, you can definitely hear it liven up. It has a few mild modifications. It looks like it has a blow-off valve. I think they also definitely added a aftermarket airbox. I don't think they added a downpipe. The exhaust seems a little bit louder than stock, but I think that's just from the airbox. But I could be wrong. But it looks like it still has a resonator for the exhaust system. Sometimes people will cut those off to make them sound better. Usually makes it sound worse, but I looked and this one still has a resonator. So I think it's probably just the airbox that's making the exhaust sound a little bit louder. And I think it sounds nice, perfectly fine for a vehicle like this. Of course, we have a great infotainment system, parking camera. The Veloster is a really cool product, and unfortunately it looks like 2023 will be the last year of the Veloster, unfortunately. The Veloster is kind of an unusual vehicle. It's because you can see on this side, it looks like just a 2-door. But when we go on the other side, we have 2 doors. So I guess it has 3 doors, I guess if you consider the liftback 4 doors. I guess it kind of makes sense to have a door on this side because this would be the side, like if you're street parking, that would be on the curb, so it makes sense for people to get in this way versus getting in from the street. And of course, the Veloster has some unique styling. In fact, when the Veloster first came out, I was really kind of admiring the look and lines of it. I thought it was kind of quirky and cool. You know, the 1 door on this side, the 2 doors on the other side. But when the Veloster first came out, it only made a paltry 150 horsepower, which really wasn't doing the vehicle any justice at all, because it really looks like a performance car, but with 150 horsepower, it wasn't winning any races. But with the Veloster N, they finally did justice to the Veloster product. You have this fantastic 250 horsepower turbocharged engine. There's the AEM aftermarket airbox on it. Obviously, you have a little bit more aggressive styling with the Veloster N. You know, more aggressive wheel and tire package, bigger brakes. You have this nice spoiler, underbody diffuser, a nice dual exhaust system. And being a hatchback, it's fairly practical. And of course, you can fold down those rear seats for even more cargo space. A lot more practical in a lot of ways than just like a 2-door coupe with a trunk, or like a 4-door sedan with a trunk. All right, well, let's get behind the wheel and take it for a spin. I've always considered myself to be a fairly conservative driver, but sometimes cars like this can bring out the worst in me. Or I guess by other people's perspective, maybe the best in me. If you consider driving like a a 16-year-old good. But yeah, cars like this, I guess if you're kind of feeling a little bit bored with life, maybe you're kind of having a near midlife crisis like me, you want to have a little fun, bring out the kid in you. A vehicle like this is perfect to do it. It will definitely bring out the kid in you. Beautiful day out, about 80 degrees, a nice day to take this Veloster N out for a spin around the block. Hopefully I won't have too much rush hour traffic. I don't plan on breaking any laws, but I'd like to maybe get this thing up to speed, see how fast it accelerates. The exhaust sounds nice, and I love the sound of the blow-off valve. I'm not sure if blow-off valves really do anything. I know they're really popular with people who tune their turbocharged cars. I think if blow-off valves really did, you know, make the life of the turbos any better, they'd probably install them on vehicles from the factory, but I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of people disagree with me, but they do sound really nice. Adds to that performance driving experience for sure. It's just kind of like turbo timers. I remember, like in the 90s, it seemed like all the turbocharged cars had turbo timers, and now they've completely disappeared, so I don't know. And if you don't know what a turbo timer was, it's basically a little timer that you have on your turbocharged car, and then when you shut it off, it would let the car idle for like an additional minute or so. And the whole idea behind that is it allowed the turbos to cool off, and that would extend the life of your turbos. But I can't remember the last time I've seen a vehicle with a turbo timer, so maybe people realized it really didn't do anything. Wasn't worth the hassle of installing in your vehicle. I don't know. But being a front-wheel drive vehicle, I think we're really kind of pushing the limits as far as how much power you can add to a front-wheel drive vehicle. You know, they have the Civic Type R, which is 300 horsepower. They did a pretty good job tuning that. The problem is that when you have a front-wheel drive vehicle, you're kind of asking the front wheels to do a lot. They're doing the majority of the braking, they're steering. You know, being front engine, you have a lot of the weight of the vehicle on the front wheels. So they're kind of doing a lot, and the rear wheels are just kind of along for the ride. So, like I said, you're really pushing you're pushing the envelope as far as, you know, adding, you know, too much power to a front-wheel drive vehicle. A lot of the times what happens is you'll have torque steer, so you try to give it so much power, and it feels like the steering wheel is trying to wrestle out of your hands, while, you know, the front wheels are trying to cope with all that power going down to them. Sometimes like a limited slip differential and things can make that a little bit better, but yeah, really you can only, like I said, you can only put so much power on a front-wheel drive vehicle. You need either all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive when you get to a certain point. And I think really, honestly, you're kind of pushing it to the limits already with 250 horsepower. But we'll see. All right, got a green light. Nice. No drama there, accelerating up to 60 miles an hour, no torque steer at all. Also has a little shift light there, which is pretty cool, and it's kind of hard to see in camera. But yeah, this is probably, they do have like a performance package which gives you an extra 25 horsepower. Yeah, so I mean, I think this chassis could probably deal with another 30, 40, or 50 horsepower. But still plenty of performance to be fun. If this was my car, I'd be more than happy with how quick it is, just the way it is. I wouldn't really feel the need to add more power, but everyone's different. Also has a little light there telling you which gear you have it in. I know it's pretty obvious, but maybe some people might appreciate that. Handle's nice too, around the corners. Yeah, fun little car. Well, that ends our little spin in the Veloster N. As fun as it was, it's over too soon. Thanks so much for joining me in this little video. Hopefully it was informative, whether you're looking at this Veloster N in particular or just information in general. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.